Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome back to my kitchen. This weekend I have a full house. We are hosting guests who are going to be attending the Fisher Poets Gathering. And with a busy house and neonatal puppies to care for and a lot of other things going on, I want to make life as easy as I can for myself without lowering my standards. So for tomorrow's breakfast, I'm going to serve our guests Spanakopita. I can make this ahead of time, and then in the morning I just warm it up and I plate it, and it looks beautiful. It tastes delicious and it's so impressive. They really feel like I've gone the extra mile and they feel loved to receive that kind of breakfast. What we need to do is we're going to need some phyllo dough that's available in the freezer section. You'll need a package of spinach, ricotta cheese, feta. You'll need melted butter and an egg. To get started, we are going to wilt our lettuce in a frying pan on the stove. And we just want to get some of the moisture out of it so that it doesn't leak through the crust when we roll our triangles. It will make a better presentation. If you don't do it, it doesn't make it taste bad or anything. It'll just look prettier if you do. So let's get started. We're melting some butter in our cast iron skillet, and we'll add our fresh spinach. You likely won't be able to cook all of it at one time, and that's okay. We'll just do it in small batches, and that makes it more manageable. You are not limited to spinach only. I've added artichokes. Sometimes I put in broccoli, sweet onion, and black olives are also very good additions. We don't want to overcook our spinach, and this is now about half the size that it was when we started. So I'm going to pull this off and add it to the bowl, and I have about half a bag left, so I'll finish the rest of the bag. With our wilted spinach in a bowl, we're going to add our feta cheese. We'll add some ricotta. This is a 32-ounce container. I'm going to add about half of that. I also want to add 1 egg. And because I didn't add anything while I was cooking it, such as artichokes or garlic or black olives, I'm going to add onion powder to mine. This will sound a little weird, but you want to put some lime juice in. It will have a strange odor if you don't. The lime juice just helps to neutralize it. It really brings out the flavor of the cheese and the spinach and lets everything work well together. We're going to mix all of this up. Make sure that the egg is blended throughout the mixture. Now we're ready to assemble our pies. You'll want to thaw your phyllo dough in the refrigerator overnight. Don't try to speed thaw this. If you didn't plan ahead, put it off till the next day before you serve this. If you try to speed thaw this in the microwave or under hot water, you are not going to be happy with the result. The dough flakes, it falls apart, it just doesn't work well, and you're not going to have a very pretty result. I speak from experience. So we'll unroll this. This is perfect. It looks just like paper. And I'm going to cut it in half right down the middle. There are other ways of doing this. I've seen people make entire pans of this and not do individual servings. I am not familiar with how to do that and achieve a good result, so I'm showing you the way I know. Okay, I flip them over on top of each other. This is also a place where you want to work quickly, because if you dawdle, your dough is going to dry out and you won't like the way it behaves. So I've got my warm melted butter, and you can use a pastry brush or just a spoon. You don't need any fancy accoutrements for this. And you want to cover the whole sheet with some butter and take a modest sized scoop of your filling. And I typically use 3 sheets. It's not a big deal if you only use 2 or if you use 4, but I aim for 3. And that gives me a pretty good turnout. And we'll roll it kind of like folding a flag, maybe if you were ever in scouting. Okay. There we go. Look at that, perfect little triangle. We'll put that on our baking paper on our sheet. We'll do the next one. I think having anything show up on your breakfast plate wrapped in phyllo dough is really classy. It shows effort. It's like you care. I call this putting a flag in the sandwich. I don't think a flag in and of itself makes the sandwich taste any better, but somehow when your sandwich comes cut into diagonal triangles and it has a little flag in it, you just assume that it's going to taste better. It looks like someone made some effort. And that's what this is like for me. Presentation is important. Once these are all on the tray the way you want them, you want to take some butter and drizzle it over the top and make sure that you wet the entire triangle. It's going to give it just a beautiful brown color, and it'll make it flake up nicely. It looks very pleasing and it tastes delicious. This whole process hasn't taken very long. It's maybe 30 minutes of prep time. And these will bake for about 20 minutes at 350. You'll want to keep an eye on it because everybody's oven is different. My convection oven tends to go a little quicker than a conventional oven, and it's not very big, so I use it for cooking small batches. It's really ideal. Okay, we'll put this into our preheated oven and we'll be back. Here's my beautifully plated Spanakopita. Served with a side of sweet potatoes.